Are you a new collector looking to buy Pokemon cards from eBay? Then this video is for you. Or maybe you've got loads of experience of buying Pokemon cards from eBay, in which case I really want to hear from you in the comments down below. Whoever you are, eBay can feel like the Wild West at times. So we put together this video to help you with our 5 top tips of how to buy Pokemon cards from eBay. Let's get started with tip number 1, and that is to master the search function on eBay. So why do we need to do that? Well, eBay has 1.7 billion listings. That is a lot of stuff for the search to wade through. So we can help it speed things up by using and not search operators in our eBay queries to help us find exactly what we want. Every time you go to eBay, you've probably been using the and function without even realizing it. So I'm going to put in Jigglypuff space jungle. Now, every time you put a space into eBay search, you are telling it and. So what I'm actually doing here is telling eBay search to show me all the listings that match Jigglypuff and jungle. So let's go ahead and hit enter, and of course we get loads of Jigglypuff cards from the jungle set. We can keep adding to this, so we could say Jigglypuff and jungle space or and graded, and there we go. We are only going to see Jigglypuff, jungle and graded listings. So this is really basic, but it's really important that you understand that every time you put a space, you are actually telling eBay and search for this. But just using and can be a little bit confusing to eBay. If I put in Jigglypuff and jungle and Sky Ridge, what it's going to try and show me is listings that match all of those 3 criteria: Jigglypuff, jungle, and Sky Ridge. Of course, what we actually want to see is anything that satisfies the criteria of Jigglypuff, jungle, or Sky Ridge. So to use or on the eBay search, you simply need to put any of your or statements in brackets separated by a comma. So for this one, I am going to open brackets, jungle, comma, no space, because remember spaces equal ands, and I am going to put Sky Ridge. We close the brackets and we hit search. And there we go. We get all the Sky Ridge cards and we are getting all the jungle cards show up. Another great way to use the OR function is for those of you that love your graded cards, because what this can do is help you cut through all the grades that are on eBay to only find the exact grades that you want. So, for example, if I wanted to search for Jigglypuff cards graded by PSA, but only in 8s or 9s, I can put in Jigglypuff and PSA and either, opening up my OR condition here, 8 or 9, close brackets, run that search, and it is going to bring me back only those PSA graded cards in an 8 or a 9. Our last operator to look at is the not operator. Now, I use this all the time and it's so useful for getting rid of anything that you just don't want to see and really quickly only focus on what it is you exactly want to see. So let's have a look at how we can use that. So this time, let's say I want to look for Jigglypuff cards. I want them from the jungle set or the Sky Ridge set, but this time I'm a bit of a cheapskate and I don't want any graded cards. Now I'm seeing here a lot of PSA graded cards, so I can tell eBay to not search for them and exclude them by using the minus sign in front of any term I want. So for instance, I don't want to see PSA graded slab, so I'm going to put not minus PSA, hit the search, and there we go. All of a sudden, all of those PSA cards are going to disappear. Now, what I could also do is to get rid of any of those pesky select your own card listings, I could also put not select at the end. And again, we are just narrowing down the search every time to make it much more quicker and much more efficient. Okay, we are on to tip number 2. And did you know that it's possible to see every single listing on eBay that has sold? No? Well, let's go and have a look. So this is super useful if you want to do some research into a price to know if you're getting a good deal. So I am going to put my search in here for Jigglypuff PSA, and I want to know 8s, 9s, or 10s. Let's run that search. Okay, so we have here a load of live listings, but what we are going to do is actually go to this filter pane on the side here, and we are going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and we are going to click this box that says sold items. Now what that will do is instantly update our results with the filter, and here we go. We can start to see listings that have sold. Now, just like any eBay search, you can modify these results however you want. I like to use the ended recently so I can see exactly what has been selling recently and know that if I want to buy a card, am I going to be getting a good price? You can also use the highest price. That is really interesting to see in this search. So for example, Jigglypuff PSA graded in 8, 9s, and 10s. What are going for good money? So we can see here, we have this Coro promo that has recently sold for £524 and 2 pence. And of course, this works really well on mobile too. So what we want to do is we want to go to our search. We want to put in exactly what it is we want to look at. And because my phone is cleverly linked to my app, I can pick up where I left off, and we can click on the filters. And this time we need to go all the way to the bottom and click here on show more. We go down a little bit and we click on sold. Can see the filters updated and show our results. There we go. So why is this important? Well, it is super important to always be doing your research. This is one of the most powerful tools, and it's something that I use all the time because it lets me know, is the price that I'm seeing on eBay fair, and is it in line with the current market? Tip number 3, and that is to never be afraid to ask for more information or more pictures. Now, thankfully, most people understand that adding a good, clear picture to your listing is a surefire way to get it sold quickly. However, that is not always the case, as cards like this one show us, or this one, or this one. These listings have pretty poor pictures on them. Sometimes this isn't a bad thing, because what it can actually do is drive down interest in that listing, particularly if it's a spicy card, and actually might mean that it increases your chances of buying it. But it's a bit dodgy, right? See a picture, you can't really see the condition of the card, but you're really interested in buying it because you want that good deal. So what are we going to do about it? We can simply head onto the listing and we can click contact seller off any listing. So this is a great way of being able to contact the seller and nicely and politely just ask them to provide you with more information, more details, or even to email you with more pictures. So all we have to do is head onto this contact page. We might also see some questions that have already been answered of this card. We can click contact the seller. What this will do is it will bring you up with a box and you can type in here anything that you like. So one thing we're not going to do is be super rude when we're contacting sellers, because that's a surefire way that you are never going to hear from them again. But one little extra tip is whenever you're contacting a seller is always put something nice at the front, like, hey, I'm really interested in buying this card, because actually that might just motivate them a bit to actually go and take those pictures if they think that you're going to buy the card. Now, what happens if that seller doesn't provide you that information is really simple. You just don't buy it, all right? Or even worse, if that seller actually comes back and is hostile about providing you, or is a bit cagey about providing you with those details or pictures, again, it's pretty simple. You don't buy the card. So that brings us on to tip number 4. So markets go up and down all the time. So we need to think about why that might be and try and stack the deck in our favor. First of all, think about the time of year that it is. Imagine Christmas time. Everyone is buying gifts for their loved ones, and of course that means they probably don't have the disposable income to start buying Pokemon cards for their collection. This can be a great time to buy cards because there is probably less competition on eBay because people's attention and more importantly their money is elsewhere. We also need to consider when sets are released. Around about release time you have everyone making so much hype that this tends to blow the markets up because everyone is trying to get the brand new shiny toy and they want that card there and then. We saw this with the Miriam card from Scarlet and Violet, which absolutely skyrocketed in price around the release day and then quickly plummeted back down to a much more reasonable price. This is your time to try and wait. Take a breath. Do you really need that card right now, or can you wait 4 to 6 weeks for the market to settle down? There are a couple of really good tools out there that can help us actually work out when is the best time to buy cards. So let's take a look. In America, one of the most well-known things is TCG Player. Whenever you search for a card, it will give you this lovely price history graph, and as we can see, here is that absolutely stonking decline on the Miriam card that has just kept on going as we get further and further away from that release hype. Now, if you're in America as well, another great one that you can use is price charting. Price charting uses bots to look at eBay and plot all of the recently sold onto a graph, and as we can see, we have this gorgeous Umbreon VMAX from Evolving Skies that has just seen this lovely high climb. If you're in the UK like us, however, Poker Card Values is a great tool to use that will give you lovely data about a card. We can see averages across different gradings, and we can also see the price history over time that is really comprehensive. So now we know how to tell if it's a good time to buy or not, and we know how to make really good search queries for exactly what we're looking. This brings us on to our final tip, number 5, is we're going to set up some alerts and notifications through eBay to tell us exactly when listings matching our search criteria are put up for sale. So how we do that is we are going to put in our lovely little search queries. So I am going to search for Jigglypuff. I can put that search in, and clearly that is going to show me exactly what it is that I want. So what we can do now with this search is we can actually save this search for later. They will let you know when new items are listed matching your exact search criteria. So this is really important to go back to our tip number 1 and actually make sure that our searches are super accurate. So what we can also do, which I really love, is turn on email alerts, and we will get an email that looks like this. So this comes to me daily because this is quite an active search, and this will show me all of the listings that match my exact search criteria as if I was to run that search, but only the ones that have been listed today. This is great because it means we don't have to keep running the same search over and over again. So there we have it, our first 5 tips about how to get the most out of eBay, and this is gonna be part of a series, so hit that subscribe button to see what other tips we're gonna have. Of course, we want to hear from you as well, so comment down below what you think of our tips, and if you have anything that you do that makes buying on eBay so much easier. Okay, that is everything from me today. We'll see you on the next one. Bye. Oh, why did I decide to film on the hottest day of the year so far? Oh my God. Spicy.